That day is the day that this happened. Yeah. That was wow. And we actually. Yeah. And it's going to respond. So, yeah.
It's not from this end. I'm not sure where that noise is coming.
All right, I will call the regular council meeting Tuesday, December 16th to order. It's 5:30 p.m. Hastings County is situated on treaty land that is rich in indigenous history and home to many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. We honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. I need a motion to adopt the agenda of the regular council meeting held on December 16th. To as presented to include and have to do.
If I may, your worship, we did have some closed meeting minutes prepared fairly late this afternoon, so I would ask that council amend the agenda to add the closed meeting minutes to the closed meeting portion. They would be the minutes of the standing committees meeting of September 2nd, the regular council of September 15th, special council of September 30th, regular council of November 4th, regular council of November 18th, and regular council of December 2nd.
I'll move. I'll second. All in favor? Does anyone have a disclosure of interest? Voted. Is there any public input at this time?
What'd you say?
Public input, did you have a question regarding tonight's agenda?
About the Indian, about tonight's agenda?
Mhm.
I hear that, we're gonna do something about Dean Graff's position. So you're not going to let the last person with the highest amount of votes go in or anything?
That's part of the, if you want to wait till we get to that section, that
Okay.
decision is not made.
Okay, oh, thank you so much.
Don't have any announcements. I need a motion that the regular council meeting minutes held on 7/2 will not be.
I'll move.
Oh, sorry.
No, the other ones are closed.
Sorry.
It's just the December 2nd regular at this point.
All right.
And I'll still move.
Yes, second for that. Second, all in favor? Okay, 6.2, that the minutes of Sterling Rodden Sterling Rodden Public Library Board Service meeting held on May 21st, September 17th, and October 15th, 2025 be received. Mover for that, please. I'll move.
I'll second.
Did the other ones you want to speak to any of that?
I'm just trying to think if there's
Yeah,
anything
I go back.
that came out of those meetings other than what's reported, but not really.
I think the big thing is they will. On when they're on Saturday, you notice the new tables, they went ahead and purchased them. You got rid of the big old one that was in the middle, but they're gonna find more to meet, and I'm sure for the meetings. The security. Oh. Sure. This is the hardest thing I gotta do.
It's on. Just gotta do one, it's good again. Just gotta, there you go, listen. Oh, again. That's it.
Where evenings go.
Electronically, I'm not very good. Anyways, they have an office through a internet security organization. In line with the IA, I believe it is. And by using I believe it's the
Shared service.
the general room, boardroom. There's not gonna be any pairs that we're aware of for the service. Where I believe the rest of the BIA members are going to. Shoulder the cost for all. So that was a way, basically just use of the room. I can't think of anything else of. Very important to you, Caroline. No.
No, well,
Things are running good as usual over the library.
while we're talking about the library, I'd like to extend our thanks for using that facility. Worked out very well on Saturday with the weather the way it was. So all in favor of those? Carried. 6.3, that the minutes of the joint fire service board meetings held on April 8th and June 2nd be received.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Charlie, you're on that board. Thing there that want to comment on?
No, I don't think so. Just get the motion ready.
It's pretty much routine. It's working very well. All in favor? Carried. Staff reports. I need a motion that the report from the chief administrative officer entitled the 2026 calculation.
That's
Thank you. Of the note charges be received. And all the right letters.
I'll move.
Second.
I'll second.
That is simply updating and meeting the requirements of the act. All in favor? Carried. 7.2, that the report from the finance department dated December 16th, 2025, regarding the 2026 interim tax levy to receive, and that a bylaw to provide for the 2026 interim tax levy, and to provide for the payments of taxes, and to provide for penalty and interest of 1 1/4% as listed on this agenda be enacted and passed. Look for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, this is the one that Jay was asking about. That the report from the clerk entitled Declaration of Vacancy of Municipal Council be received, and further, that the office of one councillor ward previously filled by Dean Graff declared vacant in accordance with section 262 of the Municipal Act 2001. And that council approved appointing a person through an application process to fill the vacant office for the remainder of the current term of council, and that council adopt the council vacancy appointment process policy. Move for that, please.
I'll move.
Seconder,
I'll second.
any discussion on that? Okay, so just so it's clear, we're asking for interested applicants to put together a short resume. There's a form provided. And return it to council prior to our next council meeting in January. At which time it will be reviewed by members of council and the applicant will be interviewed. And from those applicants, the position will be filled.
So, because there was a substitution, there was a paragraph in there somewhere, it says it, and there has been other town councils that went by the highest amount for the last person with the highest amount. I'm just saying, there is a paragraph in there.
Yep, there's 3 different options.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
So,
gonna go, because it's, I mean, that makes more sense when it's like a year afterwards. A lot of things change over the course of 3 years. So if you still want to, apply, that's open.
so what exactly questions are you gonna ask this town council?
Well, the form is provided.
And then you're gonna interview them. So what kind of questions do you ask?
Well, we'll ask about your municipal knowledge and that type of thing.
Anything else? That's it?
Well, that's a big area of interest.
Well, okay.
I just might add the forms will probably hopefully be posted to our website tomorrow. And we'll be available here at the office as well, and they'll list all the requirements and questions.
So you can just stop in and get one. if that's-
Okay, I can't get my printer to work.
No, no problem. We'll have forms here. If you've got questions, filling it out,
Okay,
can help you with that.
thank you so much.
All in favor? Carried. Should we, that the 2734, that the 2025 asset management plan level of service be received and that the staff be directed to submit the report to the Ministry of Infrastructure. And a mover for that, please.
I'll move. I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? That is quite an extensive document. That's, anybody gets a chance to review that, there's a lot of information there. And it's a living document. Once it's
Your worship,
implemented,
did
it
you
will be
want me to speak to
updated.
it?
On correspondence, 8.1. Pearl Valley Authority Municipal Brief. Minutes of November 20th, you received. Over for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Anything you want to say on that, Jeremy?
Not much to add, just a regular business and people for the land lease proposal for hunting camp and then working on our budget, which was pretty good shape for this year coming. And then talking to the new changes.
Evaluations, okay, yeah. Any questions for them? All in favor? 8.2. With these, yes, thank you. Cabbage Patch. CABC Patch News from the committee archives. Thank you, Kathy. For December be received. I will move for that, please.
Rumble.
I'll second.
All in favor? They're quite interesting. They come
Yeah.
out every. Enbridge Gas, that the correspondence from Enbridge Gas regarding the notice of application with the Ontario Energy Board for an order or orders approving the clearance or disposition of amounts recorded in certain deferrals or variances be accounted and received. Mover for that, please.
I'll move it.
Seconder.
I'll second.
Okay, this is an update. Apparently they have. Sorry, they've got some overages that are rebated, so this is just a public notice. All in favor? That the Hastings County Council report for November 2025 be received. Over to that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Correspondence, that the correspondence from the Honorable Jill Dunlop, Ministry of Emergency Preparedness and Response concerning the Emergency Management Modernization Act 2025 received. Can I have a mover for that, please?
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor? Correspondence. With the correspondence from Joel Webb, Senior Advisor, Community Relations, Ontario of Alto regarding the governmental announcement on Alto, the high-speed rail network be received. Over for that, please.
Rumble.
I'll second it.
I think everybody's seen that announcement. They're going to start, I believe, in the new year on the high-speed rail between, is it Ottawa? Montreal, yeah, for the first phase, because that's the most level, so. All in favor? Carried. 8.7, that the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus newsletter for December 2025 be received, and that the EOWC's Beyond the GTH, different needs, different solutions briefing package be received. A mover for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
They've done some really effective lobbying work and put together some really good documentation. And we'll be presenting that again at the Roma conference in January. All in favor? Carried. This is the bylaw we talked about earlier, the bylaw 7525 being the bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy for the year 2026 be made before the adoption of the estimates for the year be read and passed on the 16th day of December 2025. Move for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
The question, in favor? Carried. No notices of motion at this time under new business. I'm gonna get you to read this, Kathy. This is-
Gonna read it in, yeah. I'm in slightly. This is the committee of adjustment, motion that we have to do every year to reappoint members of council. And I would note that it speaks to 5 members, so I'm just gonna leave that out for now, because we're currently at 4, but we'll be back up to 5. Whereas council of the township of Sterling Rod appoints members of council to the committee of adjustment. And whereas pursuant to section 44(3) of the Planning Act, RSO 1990 CP 13 as amended, the members of the committee who are members of a municipal council shall be appointed annually. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Mullen, Deputy Mayor Solms, Councillor Smith, and Councillor Stewart be reappointed to the committee of adjustment for the year 2026.
I'll move.
I'll say.
All in favor? Thank you. And I think at this time, Don Stewart, you have some information regarding the parking.
Well, that kind of half explained it to Caroline. What would happen is the buses. For the kids, for the matinee in the afternoon are an issue. They're just not paying attention to what we have requested for loading and unloading. I took a sheet of the constructions down to the theater last Tuesday. Only to have the bus program was worse after I took this list down for Ken to advise his schools. I thought originally we were dealing with the buses direct, but it's the schools that deal with the buses. So it's the responsibility of the theater to advise the school of our program. Oh, sorry, I'm sitting back. You can't hear me, sorry. That's unusual. And for some reason, it's not getting through. In my list of what things to do, or how to load and unload, that was laid out quite clear. I thought, I gave him the 3 options of parking lots. I told them where they had to gather at 1 o'clock in the George Street parking lot and then proceed to Emma Street where there was a spot for 2 buses and 2 buses only at one time. And then as a bus left, they were to radio down to the gathering at the bottom of the hill to bring another bus up. And simple, just you load up, you leave, you load up, you leave, you load. Like I understood, or the information I was given was 3 to 5 minutes you were left to load. Well, I put it to 10, just so, you know, it gives you lots of time in case you got a straggler in the bathroom or something.
You can't load kids in 3 to 5
No.
minutes.
So I said 10 minutes, okay, but what was happening, they were pulling in anywhere from 12:15 to 1 o'clock. And they don't load until 1:05 because the show isn't over until 1 o'clock. So they were sitting all that time in front of these houses, idling away. And their journey was 3 or 4, sometimes there was 5 buses on that street. And the last bunch, and I have pictures here from one resident, where they were actually loading. There was two buses abreast on Emma Street, and kids were walking between the buses to load on the center buses. And there was some lady screaming at the gentleman taking pictures of the buses that he couldn't take picture of the kids. Well, I got most of the pictures here, and there's no picture of kids at all. If there is, it's the back of them getting into a bus. So I don't know whether as council, we maybe have to send a direction to the theater that this has to be handled and has to be handled now, not wait until next year, but it's something that should, I don't know, but it sounds like we're getting new buses in the area all the time, right, Jeremy? And so the new bus people coming in are not gonna understand. It's up to the school to tell them how this is supposed to happen. They're loading the kids. So I don't know whether the theater doesn't want to or is afraid to annoy the schools in case they don't get the business. I have no idea. I said to Ken the day I gave him the sheet, if there's any issues, but I don't mind sitting down with a teacher and explaining how things go. Sometimes they need explanations. They don't know everything. But I don't know whether he's explaining it to them. But we've got to do something.
We have buses that go to Toronto They have to go park away from the building.
Yeah.
Sometimes 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And that's all they do is contact the bus
Yeah.
one at a time and send them back.
Yep.
And they load in front of the theater, wherever it is downtown
Yeah.
Toronto, and away they go.
Yeah.
So same thing can happen here, it's just a matter of the
Yeah.
theater organizing it.
They-
So
they're-
I can speak to this with a little bit of experience. I set up the first school matinee pantos in 1998.
Yeah,
So there's considerable years
well,
of dealing with this, and there was a very easy plan implemented.
Yeah.
Now, it's been more than 15 years since I've been there, but the plan that was set up was very easy to follow. But we made sure at the theater that we had staff on hand to make sure, because not every bus driver gets the full information. You can have someone new. So ultimately, it should be the theater's responsibility to make sure everybody's going where they should be going. Is it possible that we could ask them what their plan is? What do they have in place? Because it sounds like the plan that was put in place for decades and worked fine. Maybe that's got lost somewhere along the line. I don't know.
well, I think I answered pretty well what kind of a plan you had, because it built 2 buses on the top of the hill. And as the bus is filled and leaves, they radio down to the bottom of the hill to come up.
Which might work. I mean, what I recall,
Yeah.
working very well is the buses mostly stayed down the George Street parking lot and the kids walked down the street.
Well, we've had that before too. I've got apparently once this year, they sent kids down to the bottom of the hill to get the bus, and their buses were up the top of it.
Well, again, there has to be someone coordinating.
So it's gotta be, I think it's the school. Because the one day I did go down, there was 3 buses sitting in items. And just as I parked my truck of, where was decent parking, and got back there, they gone. I thought, oh, well, they're all loaded and ready to go. So I walked up. They were sitting on Front Street. In the first lane, loading kids.
Well, I think we need to,
Yeah.
give staff permission to coordinate with the theater.
Yeah.
To correct this problem. I don't think we can sit here.
Yeah.
If we send them an official letter and ask them to confirm what the plan is and.
Yeah, I think we've got, like, the matinees are almost over with now, because I think you just have them up till Christmas. But if it's in place for next year. Like,
Yeah,
don't have to go through it again.
no, it's time to do it.
And the other thing that got added in was we frequently hired an off-duty police officer to come in and make sure everybody was safe. Because that's the important thing, just making sure that kids especially are safe.
I think for next year, possibly, or maybe we can do it this year, because there's still, theater's still going, but. There's still an issue with the night. Performances, they're parking every which way. And apparently. You may or may not get a place.
All right, well, we do have a bylaw officer, so I think if we go ahead and get staff direction to contact the theater.
But one state, here's something to maybe keep in mind, one statement that a citizen made. To a resident was. I'll sit here, $15 ticket. I paid more than that to go to the hospital. And park, so maybe we should up the cost of the tickets to deter them from going there, I don't know.
Well, let's start with the official letter and ask what their plan is.
Yeah.
Something to,
Okay,
at least a benchmark to start.
yeah,
Can I move her for that then?
I'll move.
Second, you brought it up, Tom.
okay. I thought seven.
Sorry.
You wanna get, go ahead, Buster.
All in favor, say.
Sorry, Kathy.
All right.
I wasn't even gonna ask her to read. All right, at this time, I need a motion to move into close for section pursuant to section 239(2).